And guys, I wasn't kidding about how close the American League race is. It's not the American League East, the American League in general. The Orioles and Yankees are tied at 73 and 52 atop the American League East. But now in the AL Central, Guardians are 72 and 52. Only 2 games up on the Minnesota Twins, who are 70 and 54, and the Kansas City Royals are coming. They're 69 and 55, 3 games back. The team with the largest divisional lead is the Houston Astros, who now have opened up a 4-game lead, winners of 9 of their last 10. Guys, I said this before. We had this on the show last time. Houston, to me, is the scariest team in baseball at the current time, and they are definitely the favorites in the American League at the moment. Nothing to me. There's no other team that I would want the Orioles to avoid more than Houston. But we're going to find out a lot because guess who's coming to Baltimore next week?
Houston.
Yep. So when I'm saying avoiding for the
baby.
playoffs, you're going to have to get over the hump here. But I'm just saying Houston is surging, Laura, as you would say. Surging is the correct word.
I also just talk about a team that Seattle was running away with this division at times, and it felt like they were a shoo-in for the playoffs. It was their pitching rotation is insane. It's just if the bats could get going, they make the trade for Rosarena. It feels like, okay, maybe they're starting to get something together. The offense started to get a little hot right after the deadline. Justin Turner in like his first game there hits a grand slam. Like you start to feel confident in Seattle. Then, like you said, all of a sudden you're 4 games back. Right now, they're projected to have just a 22% chance to make the playoffs. This was a team a month ago. People were saying, hey, if the bats get hot enough, this pitching rotation can take you to a World Series. And now it's, are the Mariners making the playoffs? So that offense needs to figure something out, or the Astros are legitimately going to run away with this division, and it'll be over in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, this is proof that you can't get too comfortable with a lead, especially early in the season. I mean, it's a very long season, and a team has a 2-week hot streak, and your lead can be gone. I mean, we've seen the Astros just continuously creep up on the Mariners, and I think when you're a division leader that maybe hasn't been there before, hasn't done it that many years in a row, hasn't won the division, racking up those division crowns, and then you see the team behind you that's won a couple World Series and won the division so many years in a row behind you, then I think you get guys might be a little tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it's so key to, you don't always have to be on the hottest streak winning 10 out of 12 all the time. But if you can avoid losing 10 out of 12 and play 500 baseball for a certain stretch of time. So, but I think it's great for baseball overall how tight these division races are. I think it's great that some of these smaller market teams are playing so well. The fact that the AL Central is this competitive is so good for the sport because it's a division that has been down traditionally for maybe almost a decade, where one team is a few games over 500 and they have a massive lead and you just know they're getting in the playoffs to win the division. So it's great with so many young players in that Central division. Bobby Witt Jr. carrying the Royals. The Twins have a young core that's healthy mixed with some veteran pieces. But overall, just great for the game to see this.
We need more of it. Actually, the most disappointing division is the other Central division.
Yeah.
Besides Milwaukee, unbelievable. Hey, the Pittsburgh Pirates made all those moves, and they have been garbage.
Yeah, that's
since the deadline.
Well, because they're not playing the Orioles.
Yeah,
that whole division is not playing the Orioles.
Yeah, the NL Central outside of Milwaukee, who's fighting for the #1 spot over there, they've all tanked. They have all fallen off, but they're all not the worst teams. They're just all mediocre. Something to watch. I did want to mention one thing with the American League wild card, and then we'll move on here. We'll wait for our guest. But for the wild card standings, Kansas City holds the last spot. Boston and Seattle are both 3.5 back, right? So Seattle, their best chance, Seattle's 5.5 back. Boston's 3.5 back from the final wild card spot. So their best chance was looking like it was trying to win that division. If you were in the National League, it'd be a little different story. It'd be a little bit closer, but you're in the American League where some of these teams in the Central right now, honestly, has been the most competitive division.
Yeah.
And who would have thought?
I think because we're talking playoffs and everything, we do have to just bring it up. Unfortunately, over the weekend, as much as we all thought they were going to run the table and win it all, the Fighting Gavin Sheets and the Chicago White Sox were eliminated from playoff contention.
Yeah, that was,
I didn't see it coming. I thought they were going to go on a streak.
I thought they were about to have the greatest comeback we've ever seen.
They were really close.
39 and a half games out with 44 games left. It seemed reasonable. You know, I gave them a shot, but
you know what? They're winners of 3 of their last 10. They have a negative 258 scoring differential, but you know what? It just felt like it was turning.
Felt like they were turning. You know, it started to click.
Well, you know what? The White Sox are coming to town in 2 weeks, so maybe we'll have the bar done in here. So maybe the White Sox might be the first one to benefit. That's a positive for the season.